My name is Jason Zivic, and I'm an audio engineer and event production engineer. I play in two bands. One band is a cover band called Merlin. We play 60s through contemporary music at bars and yacht clubs and special events. I'm in a band called Vinegar Mother, where I am a writer, producer, and drummer. And I mix live sound from multiple bands, primarily the Clark Eno Orchestra. It's a wedding band around the tri-state area. And I produce sound beds for television and radio, and also freelance beats and urban hip-hop things for clients. So I've done work live sound with the band Blue Oyster Cult through my professor at Mercy College. I've done some work on, there was basically the Chinese pop superstar version of, I guess you could say, the Chinese Nicki Minaj. I've done some recording on, which came in through Norwalk. For corporate, I've done a lot of work for companies like Nickelodeon, Hasbro Toys, Disney on the TV end. And for events, I've done work with Dove, hair products, Subway, Chase Bank, and big corporate names such as that. The biggest client I have is it's a synagogue in Manhattan called CBST. It's an LGBTQ synagogue, and I do all of their audio-video needs. And I've done their high holidays at the Masonic Lodge in Manhattan. That was a big production, like 20 speakers around the room, maybe 24 microphones, choir, everything, live stream, feed, video distribution. So that's kind of my biggest peak client at the moment. You get to learn the different clients and who they are and how they feel about certain situations. So dealing with a lower end client is different from dealing with a higher end client, and knowing, where the job is going to go in terms of how the client's feeling is important. So most of the time working in the field is just making sure everyone's happy. So if you know how to communicate and get that happiness across any different medium, whether it's a high stakes event with a last minute change or just an easygoing job, either way you got to make them happy. So knowing how to deal with the different personalities involved is a big game changer. So my family is very musical. My father raised me in a musical sense, and he gave us musical abilities. My dad worked with guys like The Cars, Iron Maiden, Jay Giles Band, Jay-Z, Maya, Nas, Big Pun. If you are good at what you do and you have a client base and you're good at communicating, like I said, that happiness medium where you're working with people who want to be happy because of their music that they enjoy and they love, and you can provide them a good service to do something that's really important to them, then yes, it is. Moving up the ladder, I really like guys like Chris Lord-Alge, Eddie Kramer. These are old school guys who've done Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin. I enjoy all the Pink Floyd records. I'm not sure who mixed them. And then as far as music, my favorite drummers are Bill Bruford, John Bonham, Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine, Mike Clark from Herbie Hancock, and anyone who pushes the boundaries in music and really changes the music scene as a whole, I look up to. So me personally, if I prepare for a session, I usually like to have the microphones up and ready for when they come. It's a pretty small studio, so usually everything's already wired and ready to go. But if I know there's a band coming, I'll have the drums set up, I'll have the keyboards set up. If it's just a single vocalist, I'll have the single vocal mic set up. Anything to make it so that they can come in and be ready with water, food, maybe some coffee. Just to have them comfortable is always a good idea, so I'll usually prepare the comforts. When you first start out with any project, you want to take into consideration that you want to start with the best possible sound. So you don't want to be using your software and your computer to be fixing issues that you've made in the recording process. So when you start, you want to have good microphones to begin with, which I've invested a lot of money into some microphones. You want good preamps, which I've got in the rack over here. Analog, old school preamps, with tubes in them, preferably, so they're nice and warm sounding. Once you have good mics and preamps and good audio, good well-tuned drums, guitars in tune, basses in tune, everything tuned up right, good keyboards, Once you have all those, and good players, most importantly, if you have all those things, it's a recipe for success. So you just get them into the system, and then you can let your software do the extra work for you to bring it up to the next level. Sophomore year, which was 2008, I joined my electronic music class in high school, which gave me an introduction into the software, the digital audio workstations. I started making my own beats in those classes, and I really enjoyed it. And so that was 2008. So now it's 9 years now, I'd say. I do have a college degree. I have a Bachelor of Science in Music Industry and Technology from Mercy College. It's not necessary to become an audio engineer. It certainly helped me. It gave me the foundation that I needed to know all the deep audio knowledge that most people wouldn't know in the field that I come across. But I loved my experience at Mercy College. But I learned more in 1 year in the field than I did in all 4 years at college. So going into the field and actually learning the situations and learning how to communicate with people on site and in the studio is a lot more valuable to me, just actually doing the real work in the world as opposed to just studying in school. Use your creativity first and foremost. You know, you have a gut, you have intuition, and you know what sounds good to your ears and what doesn't sound good, and use that. There's so much to engineering. There's so many different plugins and different programs and softwares and microphones and preamps and cables and everything, and everyone has an opinion and they think they're right, which is fine. But at the end of the day, the only thing you can trust is your own ears. So when you sit back and close your eyes and listen, trust that your two best tools are your ears. I had a job at a company called Media Vision right outside of college, and they said their slogan was "Audio Matters." So if you have like a conference call meeting and you got a video going, you can see the people in the room, but if you can't hear what's going on, there's no meeting. You don't get any of the information transferred. You can do a meeting without video. It doesn't look as nice and sexy, but it's sound. If you hear the audio, you get the message. So, you know, going all the way back to the audio engineers who used to wear lab coats, who worked on the Beatles records at Abbey Road, you know, those guys were technicians. They were actual technicians with lab coats, manipulating electronics and electricity to the human range of hearing and how humans perceive sound. So the long list of names and advancements that have come since them is just a testament to how important audio is and how it functions in our society so deeply. This is my lifelong interest and goal, and ever since I was a young kid, I knew I wanted to be involved in audio, music, event production, and I foresee, until the day I die, doing this.